Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to share with you how I created this landscape using my water-soluble Neocolor 2 wax pastels. I'll share my process with you and I'll also give you some tips and tricks. The reference photo that I'm using is from a desk calendar of the national parks, and for my landscape when I start I usually just go in very quickly and add an outline sketch with the different colors that I want to start with. I did do a light pencil sketch first, and now I'm going back over with some blue for the sky, and I'm outlining the mountains. I usually start with lighter colors. Neocolor 2s are very intense. The colors are usually very bright, so I try to use them the same way that I would use watercolor paints or watercolor pencils, where I start light and then I gradually build my layers as they dry, because if you start off with too dark of a color, it will overpower your painting and the colors will just be too intense. So I've outlined the mountains, I've outlined some green for where I want the tree areas to be, and I've also outlined the rocks and where the water is going to be towards the front of the painting. So usually what I do is, once I've created this outline drawing, I'll come back in and I'll start filling in some color. I did this already a little bit with the sky with a light blue, and now I'm coming in with more of a greenish blue for the water. And I'm gonna, again, very lightly fill in broader areas with the green. I leave a lot of white space in between, because once you add water to these water-soluble crayons, you can move the color around quite a bit. So again, I start very lightly and I don't color in very heavily, and I don't fill all the color in right away. Once I kind of have, a general idea and I've sort of color blocked my areas out, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with some water. You can either use a watercolor brush with some water, or you can use a water brush, which is what I like to use. A water brush has water in the handle, so you just squeeze the handle and the water comes out. I always keep a paper towel right next to me whenever I'm working, because the water brush sometimes is a little difficult to control the water flow. So if you add too much water, you can easily wipe your brush off with the paper towel and then go back in and continue painting. As you can see, once I activate the crayons with the water, I'm starting to move the color around. Once I get my first layer activated, I'm going to make sure that I dry my painting really well, and then I'm going to continue working by adding more layers and adding details towards the end of my painting to create the grasses and the trees and my landscape. So I'm just going to play some relaxing music while I create my painting, and I hope that you'll enjoy watching my process and you'll try this art material for yourself.